Good morning, everybody, and thanks for coming out. Today we're going to kind of officially kick off our the HPD drone program. So this is something that's been in the works now for quite a few years, about 3 years or so. We got the idea of kind of using these drones to enhance public safety and quality of life. This is a grant-funded project that was originally put forward with Senator Fonfara to address quad, ATV, dirt bikes in the parks. It was a kind of an out-of-the-box way of dealing with a problem that we really didn't have a good answer to. We know we don't want to be out there pursuing these vehicles, but we have to have a way to kind of track them, and this was a great idea. So, however, it opened the door to a lot of regulations and rules that we had to abide by. So the Hartford police team, led by Sergeant Chris Mastriani, who's going to speak to you in a minute, went out and worked with the FAA, worked with other departments that have drone programs to get 4 of our officers certified as pilots. It's almost like flying a plane. You got to be certified as a pilot to operate a drone, and to go through every step of the regulation required for us to operate a fully recognized and fully operational drone program. Today, as of now, we have 4 pilots. We have 10 drones. 3 of those drones are working with the crime scene division to do reconstruction of crime scenes, aerial pictures and aerial video of crime scenes, car accidents, and the like. And then the other 7 drones are on the operational side. Those are each one of those drones, when they fly, is for a specific purpose. We don't fly drones on random patrols. Our drones fly for very specific issues. Recently, missing person cases, critical incidents. We know we've got the Hartford Marathon coming up this Saturday. Drones provide us with the ability to see from above what our traffic is looking like, what our traffic patterns are looking like, where our pinch points are for traffic, so we can make adjustments. Obviously, with missing persons, we've had the very first time that a drone flew here for the Hartford PD was for a missing person, a missing child in Keeney Park. Keeney Park is a big area. We have several wooded park areas here in the city where a drone is something that is much more effective and much more useful in trying to locate somebody than having to deploy 10 or 15 police officers trying to go through woods and things like that. We also have the Connecticut River. We've had individuals fall in the river, and that deploying a drone is much faster than deploying a boat to try to find folks, so we can be working with a save versus a recovery. So those are just a few of the things that we envision using the drones for here. Again, they're a great tool. They can be very useful in getting to places quickly, identifying where we need our resources to be, and supplemental to resources. We can have one drone can sometimes take the place of several officers when you're talking about searching for things, when you're talking about establishing perimeters and things of the like. So much like yesterday, we talked about our body-worn camera technology. Technology in every facet of life is designed to make our jobs more efficient, more successful, and more accountable. So that is what we envision our drone program will do as well. So Sergeant Mastriani is kind of the technical the guy. Like I said, he's the one that led us through this entire process from beginning to end. Happy to answer any general questions about the drone program, and then I'm going to turn it over to him to give you a demo and to answer any technical questions. Any general questions?
That child was found safe and everything?
Child was found safe in that particular case. The drone didn't find the child. He was in that particular case. He was next door, playing with a friend. But that was the first time the drone went up for to try to find a missing child.
Same question. How long ago was that? And how old was the kid when you were
August 3rd. Wow, that was pretty. You remember how old? 8? I think 8-year-old. 8-year-old.
And can you talk about, you were talking about dirt bikes and parks. Kind of describe that. How often is that an issue for you, and how often do you think you'd be putting drones up for something?
So that issue really popped up really bad during COVID. We saw a lot of these pop-up parties, a lot of these quads and dirt bikes that would come in, mostly from out of state, out of town, and they would utilize the parks, and it was just a quality of life issue. They're loud, they're dangerous. As you've seen recently, especially West Hartford and some of the surrounding towns, they've been driving down the main roadways. They just had a significant incident in New Haven where a rally kind of turned into one of those quad dirt bike issues. So the tricky thing is a lot of these are young folks that are riding around on these all-terrain vehicles. We don't want to force a situation where somebody gets hurt. But we have to find a way to hold people accountable. The community court here in Hartford has been very good with us about seizing these quads and making sure that they don't turn back up again in our community. But getting our hands on them in a safe way is tricky. The drone provides us a way to just kind of keep an eye on these folks, and when they're in a place where we can apprehend them safely, we do so. So that was really kind of the initial thought. And while we will certainly use it for that, we've talked to police departments across the country that have been utilizing drones for so many things, and they've really enhanced the ability for us to provide public safety services.
How many more people are you looking to get trained for the drone?
So there's nobody else in the pipeline to be trained right now. We really just started in August. We had to go through some training. It's very, Chris can get into kind of the technical aspect of it, but literally every time that drone takes off, we communicate with the tower at Brainerd Airport, and we get permission to fly it. So it's not one of these things where you just kind of, wake up in the morning and fly the drone. There's a very regimented process. Every flight is logged. Each one of these drones is registered with the FAA. It is a very regimented program. So I think 4 is good for right now. I would love to see us get a few more as the program builds, but we want to crawl before we run, and so we want to make sure that we're getting the most out of what we have right now, and then we'll look to expand it.
Chief, is this at all an effective tool to deal with the situation with stolen cars and pursuits and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we've all seen police departments that deploy helicopters for things like that. I think we've seen for years LAPD and their car chases and how they do their work there, backing off, letting the air unit kind of follow the car. We have the ability to do the same things now with drones. Right now the drones are deployed for pre-planned operations. So we'll continue to do that, but I definitely see this being a tool where we could mitigate a lot of the dangers surrounding vehicle pursuits in general, not just the stolen cars. I'll let Chris tell that story, but we have recovered a stolen vehicle by using the drone. That'll be a story he can give you. Anything else before I turn it over to the guy that knows everything? All right. Chris?
Yeah, like the chief said, there's so many different scenarios we can use these. Another one is rooftops. We've had several incidents in the city, a couple active burglars where the burglars make their way to a rooftop. Again, taking the place of a police officer, to take a police officer and send them up 20 stories to get onto a roof, which could end up into a dangerous situation for both people. We're able to deploy the drone and get up on top of the roof in a minute and tell you whether, are they here or are they not here. So that's been a really another important function, is getting up to those rooftops very quickly. We have recovered one stolen car where somebody called the police and said there was a stolen car with kids in it hiding behind a building. We were able to get up, find the stolen car, keeping a visual on it, and guided uniformed officers in and recovered the stolen car occupied, which also had a fake firearm in it. And these people were doing robberies all across the city with a stolen car and a fake firearm. So that was just another scenario where the drone was able to get eyes on it, see it, and then guide in the police safely rather than get into some situation where we're following it and it could turn into a pursuit. That eliminated the pursuit right away. Do you have any other questions?
Just your first and last name and title, please.
Sergeant Chris Mastriani.
Can you spell your last name for us?
Mastrianni. If you bought a vowel in Wheel of Fortune, you'd hit.
I missed it. I'm going to have to look at it.
All right.
We can give it to you.
Yeah, we'll get it to you after. So obviously, wooded areas, the river, like we talked about. That incident in Keeney Park, though we did not find that 8-year-old, we were able to clear a large space and identify that the child wasn't there. which took the place of 20 cops going out on a grid search. So it was still a success, even though the 8-year-old ended up being somewhere else. We were able to clear a large part of the Keeney Park without having to send a large amount of cops in there. So that's just something I'm really excited about too, is we can cover so much area with that drone that would take a really long time with cops on foot, especially at night. You're putting cops into these areas with flashlights out in the woods. The drone can really take the place of that and do it really quickly and efficiently. Like Chief said, we do have 10 drones. We have really good drones. We went with high-end drones with very powerful cameras. They are, like I said, registered with the FAA. They have numbers to fix them, just like a license plate. The 4 of us went through FAA training and took an FAA certified pilot's exam to get our licenses, so we are licensed. And like the Chief said, we do have to communicate with Brainerd every time we fly, whether during the day, night, doesn't matter. They give us an authorization number. We take every flight, we log it into a flight log. So every flight is documented, logged, case number affixed, flight time, distance, how high we were, where we went, all that is logged appropriately. You guys want to see? Want me to grab a drone? Hold it. So this is an example of one of the drones we have. They look small. The perception of drones, sometimes it's this big scary thing flying around that can stay up for hours. They are very limited to about 25-30 minutes on one battery. So it's not up, it's not staying up there. It's very incident specific. We deploy it, we use it, and then it lands. It's not something you're going to see. Residents are not going to see a drone flying around their windows, flying around their house. We usually get to 300-400 feet. We identify the specific incident we're looking for, and then we're landing. So it's not one of those things that's up there, that's out there, and just always looking. Very limited on their battery capacity, but still very effective. We have 6 of these, this very specific one. The cameras, as you can see here, very strong, very powerful cameras. Fixed to a gimbal, so though the drone might be getting bounced around in the wind or weather, the camera stays dead steady. The other nice thing about this size of a drone is we can get up very fast. So driving around to an incident, we can literally have this up in minutes, as opposed to some of the bigger drones, which you have to put together and they take a long time to deploy. We can get this up really fast, identify the incident we're trying to identify, and be down and land very safely. We're going to actually launch one right now and show you guys how fast, as quickly that'll get up. It's pretty quiet. Once you get to about 7,500 feet, you can't even hear it anymore. Over here in our truck, we have like a little mini command center set up with that 43-inch display. Where that comes into play is if, as you can see now, he's flying over that wooded area by the river. If we were looking for somebody, if somebody fell in the river, the ability to have several people here standing here watching the screen while he flies, so he can just concentrate on flying. That's the purpose of that. It also makes it a lot easier to identify somebody that you're looking for, rather than looking at a very small remote. So that's something we put some money into as well, to have that set up. As you can see, he's over that Connecticut River within a minute. It would take a boat a long time to launch and get out to the river. We're over the river in minutes. Very high imagery. That's a 6K camera on here, so very high resolution imagery. We do what you see him wearing that backpack is called a Terra Deck. It's a broadcast equipment. It's a bonded credo point that allows us to stream that feed into our live C4 Crime Center, which is really important during high incidents. The ability to have our analysts and second eyes looking at it as well. The footage is also all recording into our recording servers, the same as our C4 cameras that you guys have heard about. It's recording to our servers, available for FOI. Everything's FOIable out in the open. Hector, how far away are you? I am 521 feet away. Yeah, so within 30 seconds, he's 500 feet away from us over the river. And that area is obviously going to be a very difficult area to deploy officers as well. You guys have any more questions at all about the specific equipment or anything?
The training, how long does that take? What does that entail?
So we took 6 weeks to do the training. It was 3 nights a week for 6 weeks. At the completion of that, we actually went to Brainerd Airport and took an FAA test. It's pretty intense. They lock you in a room. They take your cell phone, and you've taken it. Right? Yeah, it's a pretty tough test, but we all successfully went through it. We had an FAA, an employee at FAA actually did our training for us for the department. So we had a lot of knowledge at our fingertips, and they really helped us build our program here. There's a lot of rules with these. You have FAA regulations, you have state regulations, and we also have our local internal policies that we have to follow. So there is a lot. You still up? So to answer your question. Anybody else? Good.
Bring it back in.
Yeah, we'll land. Go ahead and land it. So he'll land this thing very quick. It's GPS driven as well, so you can't lose it. You can just have it return to you where you are, which is really helpful. Anything else we should cover? No? I need one more question. Come on.
If you want to give me your last name again.
Good question.
Thank
MASTROIANNI.
you.
Right above us.
We do have an all-weather one too that can go through rain and snow. So again, when we talk about efficiency of time, that was an asset that was just over the river 45 seconds ago and is back in our hands. Good. Good.
How'd you like those charts?
What's that? Oh, those are rough. I had them home. I was studying them at home on my couch. It was hard.